Couple big games this weekend, right?
Yeah, we got some big games. Hold on, let's make Chuck famous.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh yeah. Is it better? Am I in the screen?
You look great.
There we go.
Yeah. That's gonna crash the internet.
That is
right
definitely going to crash the
there.
internet.
Maybe step down one more step.
One more.
Yeah.
God, I'd like to be a little taller.
Yeah. Well, when you're out chopping down trees in that shirt.
Yep. Hey.
I'm glad you left the orange vest in the car, though.
Yep. Right.
That
The orange
was
vest
good,
is
so.
in the car. You never know when you're going to get shot at.
Yeah, so we do have a big weekend coming up. I know you and Max were just talking. We're 5-7.
Yep.
Actually 5-7 in 2.
Yep.
And not exactly where we exactly want to be, but in reality, we're in a pretty good spot at the end of the semester. At even par.
Yep.
500 team.
Yep.
So when you consider that we started out 0-5,
Sure.
it seems like progress to me. Your thoughts?
It is, it's funny. I know you couldn't hear the audio on that, but Max was just saying that this team is very heavy with freshmen, right? So we've got a lot of guys that this is truly their first experience playing against grown men, right? And it was almost a blessing and a curse if I read Max correctly that schedule, our league schedule, was very front-loaded, right? We played the best of the best of probably the best hockey teams we're going to face all year, with the exception, I think we got Louisville coming up here in the second semester. But, it gave those guys a good taste of what to expect and what it takes to win in this league. Now, you mentioned we started 0-5, right? And we're at 5-7. So these guys have learned, progressed, developed, and gotten better, right? So as we go to the break, we've got one more weekend here before finals. I know they're excited about what they're going to do. They had a little break here. They got to clear their heads, and I think this weekend will be good for the overall development of this hockey team.
Yeah.
Here. So,
but nonetheless, still no piece of cake. You got Indiana, who's having their best year in probably 5 years. I think they're ranked 14th in the Central region, and that. I don't know. We're just not. We're due. As I reflect on it, in the last 10 games, I think I guess it'd be the last 9 games.
Yep.
We're 5-2-1.
Yep.
Actually 5-0-2-1. So
right.
We've gone to overtime twice. We've gone to a shootout once, and we've won 5 games.
Yep.
Which tells me we haven't been beaten regulation.
Right.
In 10 games.
Right.
So there's no prize for losing in an overtime, but it tells you that if nothing else, you can compete, right?
Right.
There's nobody out here to be afraid of, or there's no reason you can't think, what is it? I hate to use the cliche, but any given Sunday. How about any given Friday or any given Saturday?
Yep, I agree with that. And again, a young coaching staff, right? These guys, this is the first time both of them are working together and behind the bench, and I think they're going to learn just like the hockey team's learning right now. And I think the future is bright. I mean, it's all indicators are pointing in that direction. So
let's spend a minute on Enot and Eckert, the 2 seniors.
Yep.
Who have been the glue to hold it together. They've seen it all.
Yep.
And they're trying to convince a bunch of young kids. Talk to me about your impressions of not just what those guys have kind of led us through this year, but over the last 4 years, really.
So those 2 guys are just, if you put up pictures of what Xavier wants, hockey players that Xavier wants, right? If you look at Drake, right, early on in his career, we had 2 teams there, and he kind of bounced back and forth between both teams, and the guy just came to work, and he continued to work and continued to improve. Okay, and both of those guys, one thing that they do share in common is if we asked them to play forward, they'd play forward. If we asked them to play defense, they'd play defense. And they are really 2 brothers right now that really, you use the term, hold this thing together. They really have. And they're doing a great job of showing what, when you stay for 4 years, what can happen. And
that's a great point. It's a life lesson, right? I mean, And that's kind of what club hockey is about. There's going to be some adversity.
Yep.
Going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some nights, a lot of nights probably you want to stay home, or a lot of nights you'd rather be, doing the college thing on the weekends. But they'll be rewarded for this because, they're going to be the guys that were kind of the basis of making the D2 move and not just making the move, but now competing. This is a playoff team now, and it's not just a playoff team. This is a team that can compete and make some noise in the playoffs.
Right, and they saw it through, and Drake is an integral part of the administration of this team. He's the club president, and I know he's got aspirations of, I think he's in the medical profession now, and these types of things that you put on a resume, and when you're interviewing young people, they have a story to tell, and it's a pretty unique story, and it's all based in a game that they love, right? They don't continue to show up year after year, night after night after night, if they don't have a passion for this game.
Talk about what you know about the freshman class and anybody that stands out to you amongst that group or anybody else.
I wish I can tell you from what I see. I'm not in the locker room nearly as much as I was when I was coaching, so I can't speak to their camaraderie or who they are. But what I see on the ice is in the 10 years that we've been around this program, right, the level of talent we have out of the freshman class is probably unprecedented, right? I mean, these are, I think we've got 10 of them. 14 of them. We've got 14 of them, and they have showed up. They've made an immediate impact. The little bit I do see in the locker room, they're starting to form these bonds. They look like they're having a heck of a good time, and I think as that grows and those friendships form and get better, they will only get better as a hockey team.
Yeah. I think to try to pick out a kid that surprises me, I think I'm surprised by them all to the point you just made. I knew they were good,
right?
But I didn't know Biter was that good,
right?
I didn't know. Merkley was that good. And
right.
Shelgren, I didn't know he was that good.
Right.
They have a lot to learn. Yeah, they still have a ton to learn. But boy, you can only imagine come that Christmas break and when they come back, good things in store.
Yeah, those young guys. A little breather in the way ACHA hockey is set up, right? You get a pause in December, right? You get a time to reflect and. I don't think those guys, when they come in September, and they get right at it, right? They come they come to campus, they go to orientation, and then they're playing hockey, right? And it goes quick for them. So they have a little time to reflect and decide, what could I do to be better, and how can I change, 5-7-2 into a winning record. And historically, these guys have come back and really put the gas on. And we're fortunate enough that I think, I know we're gonna make the playoffs, and I don't know if I would want to face this team in the TSCHL playoffs this year because I think they're gonna be a tough out.
Yeah,
I mean, it is, and who knows? They might catch lightning in a bottle and take it all the way. But it's going to be fun to watch. I guarantee you that.
I agree. And let's not forget our sophomores, right? You got my kid from KC, Danny Powers. And, my St. Louis connection with Michael Ahrens and our secret weapon that hasn't been able to put on the skates yet this year, but Kartaleckia out of D.C.
Yep.
That's a special hockey player, and you add him to this equation with Michael and with Danny and Sage. I mean, don't even get me on a tangent about Sage. He's just been, and we'll talk about Sage in a minute. But the sophomores are they're leaders in their own right?
Absolutely.
And they're taking us to the next level too. So it's an exciting time, and obviously we're showering these guys with a lot of praise, and but they've earned it. They persevered, they paid their dues, and when you and I coach, what did I used to tell you? All I want them to do is get rewarded for their hard work.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying they're going to win every game, but it's nice to see them start to be rewarded for hard work and perseverance. And you know how much I hate quit, and these kids don't have quit in them.
No, they don't. And like I said, it's we've had the luxury of I played in this league. You played in this league 25 years ago, and they will get rewarded if they stick together.
Yep.
And they've got a chance to bring some hardware home, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, these guys are out here right now. They're trying. They're competing for the same piece of hardware we are. The guys down in Louisville, they're Miami. I mean, this league is loaded with talent, but I think we got a special group, and I think we're on to something here.
Indeed,
so.
indeed. Any final thoughts before we sign off and wish these guys luck on the weekend?
Well, to go back to something that we always talk about is leave the program better than when you found it, right? And I know we've been wanting to do this broadcasting for quite some time now, and the guys back there, they're not just hockey players. They're students. They're everything. They got their brains together, and I think we're on to something here, and I think this is something you will you can count on. I mean, you can set your weekend around to it, and that's just another step. The program's going to get better, and the young kids out there that are going to be watching us on TV that are considering now's the time. Kids are applying for schools or waiting for acceptance, and we've always done our best to make this program as close to an NCAA program as
Amen.
we can, and I know we work on a short budget, but it's there are a lot of people out there that go to great lengths to do that. So,
well said. Well, for the voice of the Muskies, Coach Sparek, this is the old coach signing off. We'll be back online Saturday night. At 10 o'clock, and God willing, no technical difficulties.
Right.
Have a good night,
Good
everybody.
night. Take care.